Greetings, welcome, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, supporting you with healing experiences, coaching, and encouragement during your life changes, challenges, and transitions. Thanks for joining me in this episode of Ask the Stones, where I offer answers to your spiritual questions and encouragement for your journey. Dear Christian, good evening from London. I have two lovely daughters, 17 and 14 years old. Unfortunately, both of them are overweight. Since lockdown, they have gained even more weight, and I don't know what to do. I tell them, don't eat junk food. I tell them what sicknesses they might get if they are overweight. I let them make their own choices with food and exercise, but nothing works. Since the lockdown, they don't even go out anymore, even though now we can go out. They've become antisocial. As a mother, I feel so sad knowing that I am not helping them to get healthy and lively. Please help. Signed, Isobel. Isobel, thank you for this question. And thank you for telling us about your experience. I want to first say that I'm sorry for these challenges. I know that many of us are going through some real challenges with our current situation, and so I extend my best wishes and blessings to you at this time. I also, Isobel, have a few recommendations for you. First of all, you tell us that you have two lovely daughters. And my first recommendation is actually a question. My question to you is, you're telling us your daughters are lovely, but are you telling them that they are lovely? Are you telling them how much you love them? Are you telling them how great they are? What I hear you saying in your question is that you are telling them, don't eat junk food. You're going to get sick. You can do whatever you want, but this is what I hear you saying to them. And so I'm wondering what kind of messages of love and support you are providing to them at this time. This is a challenging time, and it's a challenging time for everyone. Young people, especially. When you are 17, 14 years old, this is a challenging age to begin with. Now throw into the mix a global pandemic. Not very easy. So I really want to encourage you first and foremost to be very loving to them at this time. Tell them that they're lovely. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you are blessed to have them in your life. Tell them they're beautiful. Send all of these positive messages to them. You know, there was a study that was done amongst couples that showed that for every negative comment that was given by a member of the couple, they needed 10 positive comments to balance it out. That's a lot of positivity needed to balance out the negativity. And my guess is that right now that ratio for you with your daughters is completely out of whack. I would probably flip that and say that you are giving 10 negative comments to them for every one comment. Now I know, Isobel, that your comments are coming from a place of concern. They're coming from a place of love. But your daughters aren't hearing that. They're just hearing the negative. And so I want to encourage you first and foremost to let them know how much you love and care about them, unattached to these messages of, you're going to get sick, don't eat junk food, Don't say those things, and say instead, I love you, I care about you, I want you to be healthy, let's be healthy together. So my second recommendation for you, Isobel, is to be the thing you want your daughters to be, to lead by example. If you want your daughters to be healthy, you have to be healthy. At 14 and 17, your daughters are looking to you for guidance. Even if they don't say that, even if they don't want to admit that, they are looking to you for how to be, how to act, the way to go in the world. And so I want you to set that example for them. Make sure that you are eating well, that you are exercising. Don't bring junk food into the home. As the adult, if you aren't bringing these things into the home, then your daughters can't be eating them, especially if they're not going out right now. So be the one to say no to these things. And it's not a punishment, Isobel. It's a gift. So it's not a, we are not having that in this home because we're punishing you. It is a, we are not having this in the home because we are giving this gift of health to ourselves. So making sure that you are eating well, you are exercising, you are providing the healthy food choices in the home, and being an example to your daughters. So the change starts with you, Isobel. You've got to be the person you want your daughters to be. Next, I'm going to recommend that you make these changes in small steps. You know, anytime that we want to implement life changes, and that's really what's going on here, Isobel, is that you want to implement positive life changes. And anytime we attempt to make changes in our lives and make positive life changes, we have a tendency to think that we need to make all of these big changes all at once. That right now I need to go clear the cupboards. I need to toss out all of the biscuits. I need to throw away all of the pork skins. I need to throw away everything that isn't healthy in this house right now and just completely purge ourselves of it. When we do that, we oftentimes more than not set ourselves up for failure because our system, our soul, and our spirit is overwhelmed with the huge change. What we don't recognize and understand and appreciate is that small changes are just as impactful as large changes. As a matter of fact, they are often more successful because we can implement them in small steps over time. And this is what I'm going to recommend for you right now, Isobel. Your changes are not going to be temporary. What you really want to be looking at is a lifestyle shift and a change in the way you think about yourself. And remember, it's not just the way you think about your daughters, the way you think about yourself, because you've got to be in this too. You've got to be completely committed to your health, your spirit, your well-being, as well as your daughters. And so committing to this as a lifestyle change for yourself and your family. And so saying, we are a healthy family. And asking yourself, what are the things that healthy families do? They don't eat junk food. Great. If they don't eat junk food, then what do they eat? They eat healthy foods. What are those healthy foods? Healthy families exercise. Great. What does that look like? Sitting down and actually writing out what healthy people do and incorporating those things into your life. But again, not incorporating them all at once. So not expecting yourself to wake up tomorrow and eat nothing but kale and quinoa and vegetables. Although I do eat this frequently, consistently, and I do recommend that as a diet, but also not saying I'm going to eat all of those things. I am going to drink 10 liters of water a day. I am going to run a mile. I am going to meditate, and I'm going to do all of these things starting tomorrow. Wow, that's a lot of things, and that is going to be overwhelming, and you're going to have a really hard time doing all of those things all at once and doing them consistently and therefore having success in those. So what I'm going to recommend is starting small. Can you implement one healthy food into your diet? Can you tomorrow cut out one unhealthy food? Or even, Isobel, can you take one less bite of an unhealthy food? So as you're sitting there eating your biscuits, ask yourself, can I take one less bite of this biscuit? You might be thinking, what kind of change is going to happen with me and my daughters if we eat one less bite of a biscuit, Christian? But if you, the next time, eat 2 fewer bites of the biscuit, and then the next time eat 3 fewer bites, well, 3 fewer bites I think is actually 1 whole less biscuit, and so you eat 1 less biscuit the next time. It might not seem like much at first, but if you stick with that, you will be seeing changes over time. Remember, Isobel, this is a life change. You have the rest of your life to improve in these ways. And so when you make these changes over time, you will be seeing big changes. Your daughters will be experiencing big changes. So small changes add up to big changes, but you must stick with them. I also recommend, in thinking of this as a complete lifestyle change, to think about what you are gaining instead of what you are losing or avoiding. So you are saying to your daughters right now, you're going to get sick. I tell them what sicknesses they might get if they are overweight, you say. But rather than telling them about the reasons to avoid junk food, I recommend flipping that language. Remember, you're also flipping your language with how you talk to them, and you're going to be more positive in the way you talk to them, is what I recommend. But I also recommend being more positive in the way you talk about your lifestyle changes. So you are not losing junk food. You are avoiding ill health. Or I'm sorry, you are not avoiding ill health. You are gaining positive health. So you're not losing junk food. You are gaining healthy food. You are not avoiding sickness. You are gaining good health. Do you see what I'm saying, and do you see what I mean, Isobel? Shifting the way that you are talking about this experience so that it's not about what you're losing, it's about what you're gaining. It's not about what you are running away from, but rather on what you are running towards. This is going to involve a change in your mindset. Remember, lifestyle change. And so lifestyle change involves a mindset change. You are a healthy person. Going back to that question I asked before, what does a healthy person do? What does a healthy family do? And writing those things out and then engaging in those activities along with your daughters. If you can follow these suggestions, I promise you, you will turn your health around, and you will turn your daughters around too. I know you expressed the concern about them not going out, but we know that being outside is positive for the improvement of our emotional and mental well-being. So I am going to encourage you to encourage them to get out. You know, you're saying that they don't go outside. My question for you is, how frequently are you going out? Are you setting the example for them? Can you encourage them to take a couple of steps around the neighborhood? If that's a challenge, can you encourage them to walk outside and stand right outside the door? Is that too much? Can you encourage them to simply put on their trainers and start that as a first step? You know, well, now that you have your trainers on, maybe we could just walk outside and get a few breaths of fresh air. It's amazing what fresh air, what nature, what being outdoors will do for us. I know you're in London, and I know that London has a lot of beautiful, wonderful parks. I encourage you to spend some time in those parks. Connect with the nature in those parks. This is going to help to improve your mood. It's going to help you to get some exercise. It's going to help you to feel a lot better about your current situation. Encourage your daughters to join you. You could even turn this into an adventure where you're going out and saying, okay, girls, we are going to go down to the park. We are going down to see how many squirrels we can find. How many squirrels can we count today? Now they're 14 and 17. They might roll their eyes and groan, but it's turning this experience into a mission. It's giving it a purpose. And that can help to encourage us when we have something to shoot for to get out and go. So these are some of my recommendations for you. I could go on and on, Isobel, but I really believe that these are a wonderful place to start, and that if you just go with them, you will have success. If you stick with them, you will see profound shifts. And last thing, I am going to encourage you to, I know I've said this before, but rather than nagging your daughters, we know that nagging does not work. Focusing on telling them how much you love them and how grateful you are to have them in your life. Bring it all back to gratitude, Isobel. Be speaking gratitude to your daughters. Be speaking gratitude about your daughters. And you absolutely will see shifts. Thank you for this question. And good luck to you and your daughters. I wish you health and love and happiness. And you know, Isobel, I think I will draw a card for you as some additional encouragement for you and your daughters at this time. So let's take a few deep breaths. Let's call in our angels, our guides. I'm going to use the Archangel deck for you. And let's see if we have a message, or I should say what message. You know, the angels are always giving us messages, even when we don't recognize it. So when we can be open and receptive to the messages, we will be receiving them. They're always coming to us. It's all about whether or not we are open and receptive to them. Aha! Ha 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 ha! Great. The angels say, keep an open mind and learn new ideas. Then teach these ideas to others. So the message from the angels right now is teaching and learning. Keep an open mind and learn new ideas. Then teach these ideas to others. I think the angels are saying loud and clear, Isobel, keep an open mind about learning about health and wellness, and teach these ideas to your daughters. Thank you, and best wishes to you on your journey. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Ask the Stones. If you have a question for the Stones, visit StandingStonesHealing.com or connect on Facebook at Standing Stones Healing to get support through your life changes, challenges, and transitions. Thank you, and best wishes for your journey.